When Charles Wesley put pen to paper and wrote his immortal Christmas carol, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, he grasped the fullness of the birth of Jesus. Hail the heaven-born Prince of Peace, hail the Son of Righteousness, light and life to all he brings.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify concerning that light, so that through him all might believe. He himself was not the light. He came only as a witness to the light. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world.
On this fourth Sunday in Advent, we celebrate the light that emanates from the arrival of the Christ child. The majority of our Christmas carols refer to the light that came on that first Christmas morning. John, in his Gospel, records nothing about the birth or early life of Jesus. However, in his prologue, he makes one momentous claim about Jesus. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Here is the fulfillment of the prophecy found in Isaiah 9:2. The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned. No other biblical writer uses this contrast of light and darkness as does John. His Gospel commences with it, and his epistles ring with the sharp contrast of salvation and sin. For John, darkness represents the state of mind of the unsaved who are in their sin, and light represents the way of God and salvation. However, John sees an extra dimension in the emergence of this light. In it was life and a constant, and the darkness has not overcome it. Light in itself provides only relief from darkness. However, within it is an energy, a power that humanity has recently learned to tap into, witnessed by the plethora of the solar cells that dot the homes that surround us. I know if I stand too long on a summer's day outdoors that my skin will become sunburnt. I cannot see the power of the sun's rays. I cannot hear it working. But sooner or later the evidence of the power of the sun will be there on my skin. Although it is not apparent, there is a tremendous power and energy in light. Not only did the birth of Jesus bring light, it also brought life, and with that life, a unique energy. Just as the first creation began with "Let there be light," so the new creation begins with the entrance of light into the heart of the believer. The God who said, "Out of darkness the light shall shine," is the same God who has made his light shine in our hearts to bring us the knowledge of God's glory shining in the face of Christ. The coming of Jesus Christ into the world was the dawning of a new day for sinful humanity. And with the coming of this light, new life begins. Without this light, there can be no life, and there has to be a constancy and permanence about that light. Songwriter Chick Yule gets something of the constancy of this light in his song, "The Light Has Come." The first two verses finish with the lines, "The light has come." The final verse finishes on a note of constancy, "The light will come," and the light is now personified in the person of Jesus. Not only has the light come, it is still coming and will continue to come. Numerous verses in the Bible give Jesus the designation light, and that light exuded a unique energy that gave life to those who would intentionally accept it. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. I fear that at times we are so bedazzled by the charm of the manger that we lose perspective. As I have mentioned before, behind the charm of the manger stands the shadow of the cross. When Paul wrote to his protege Timothy, he nails the focus of what it is all about. Here is a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance. Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners. The reality is that Christmas and Easter are the bookends of Christianity, and neither stands alone in its message. The message of the birth of the Christ child only makes sense in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. Not only was he the light, in him also was the life. Perhaps on the eve of another Christmas, there is a desire within our heart and soul to refocus our perspective and seek the renewal and the power that emanates from that light. If we are to have life, then it must flow from the energy that light provides. The late General Albert Osborne, on a visit to New Zealand, was shown a mountain stream which, legend said, had healing properties, and he was to write, "Light, life, and love are in that healing fountain. All I require to cleanse me and restore. Flow through my soul, redeem its desert places, and make a garden there for the Lord I adore." we receive this light, there is given to us life and an ability which we did not previously possess. The ability to handle life's rough spots, the ability to endure hardship and suffering which would previously defeat us. Job said, "Your life will be brighter than the sunshine at noon, and life's darkest hours will shine like the dawn." The proof that we have this light will be apparent by our love for each other. Our claim that we have the light will only be substantiated by our walking in love. John says, "Whoever loves his brother lives in the light. Whoever hates his brother is in darkness." The following video has a powerful message about how the light should impact our lives. Watch carefully the actions and facial expressions of the father in the story.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh, hear the angel voices, oh, night divine, oh, night, when Christ was born. Oh, holy night. Truly He taught us to love one another. His law is love, and His gospel is peace. Chains shall He break, for the slave is our brother, and in His name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we. Let all within us praise His holy name. Christ is the Lord, then ever, ever praise we. Noel, oh, night, when Christ was born. Christ was born. All night when Christ was
There is a dualism about this concept of light. Not only do we have the light of God to show us the pathway, but we also become a light. There is a sense in which when we become Christians, we are a light. It is the words of Jesus himself. He tells us that we are, indeed, a light in this world.
You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven.
Jesus didn't say that we would one day get the light, or that the light was something we may obtain because of our lifestyle. He simply said that we are the light. Once a person becomes a Christian, they immediately become God's light to a darkened world. And Jesus didn't say, let your light twinkle, but rather he said, let it shine. The essence of Jesus' allegory to light is that we get illumination from the light, that is Jesus, and then we become lights. We are become channels of light rather than reservoirs of light. We are given light to share with others. Steve Green, in his song People Need the Lord, writes, we are called to take his light to a world where wrong seems right.
Every day they pass me by, I can see it in their eye. Empty people filled with care, and in Judas there. On they go through private pain, living fear to fear. But their eyes, the silent cries, only Jesus hears. People need the Lord. People need the Lord. At the end of broken dreams, He's the open door. People need the Lord. People need the Lord. When will we realize people need the Lord? We are called to take His heart to a world where wrong seems right. What could be too great a cost for sharing life with one who's lost? Through His love, our hearts can feel all the grief